if you woke up with $5,000 in your bank account? $5,000 and you knew exactly where that came from. I mean, you're showing up online, you're posting content, you're posting strategy, and you literally are sharing all this value, but you're trying to figure out things and you're trying to understand how to put everything together. It is a reflection, it's brilliance. And you know you're brilliant, right? And you're working down and you're working hard without a clear strategy that actually works. If nothing changes, nothing changes. You'll keep trading your time for money and realize that, again, you are the champion in your own game. But how do you actually make that and relate that to someone else's schedule? How do you make that be able to be understood? And while someone else's dream, you're going to your 9 to 5 and you're further and further away from the vision that you actually prayed about in regards to your belief. You'll start to believe maybe this life is not for me, what I'm trying to do. Maybe you'll see a result to a 9 to 5. The old way is trying to just do things over and over as how people have told you in regards to business and guesswork. Today we're going to talk to a champion, not just a champion in his own eyes, but literally the people's champion is his nickname. You know, in regards to looking at your digital marketing and real estate and looking at how being overwhelmed can have such an impact on people. I literally created the 7-day Quick Start AI playbook to help people understand that they're not alone. And instead of spending time learning, you can spend time earning with the AI cash story method. It's a way to actually take your free Facebook profile as your digital storefront, turn clients into client attraction machine and getting coached by millionaires who've already done it. And you want, a step-by-step process to know and understand that you're not alone. That's the key part about having my special guest on today, because again, you think about just automation in itself and working with AI and the ups and downs, different AI tools and being step-by-step. That's why the AI cash story playbook to play check method, owning a digital franchise, having ownership. We're going to talk about all of these different things here today. And being able to understand and grow and build one step at a time, that's what the benefit of ownership is. That's what the benefit of having your own digital real estate is, and having the AI cash story method. The great thing is, if I told you in the next 60 days, if you put your head down and I can get this done, Adriane Mays, and I show you once a step-by-step process with 7-figure mentors that can be able to help you and grow and build with a dream team, that $5,000 in your bank account. I mean, you rely on a few $100s every 2 weeks, but the playbook method and having step-by-step and understanding a game plan, rinse and repeat, that's how, and that's the reason, and that's the why. That's the vision for Adriane Mays and being the change, because it's not a job. It's not a side hustle. It's literally building a digital empire, the billionaire journey that Adriane Mays is on, from your voice to your story to your inbox. So when I look at in regards to mapping out how, people that have been on there before, as like Selena Chu, who started the series right now, she started on May 6th with a virtual live conversation with Adriane Mays, and she's doing amazing. She's had over such success. So 60 days or less, you can do it. But again, it starts being able to own your voice, own who you are, and starting with your Facebook and digital storefront. So having a lead nurture system, having a system in place for you actually to grow and build, that's going to be the fun we get with here today, my friends, because again, you're not alone. Having a content plan and an execution plan, that's how we're going to grow and build. But if you're serious about making change, if you're serious about being a champion, about building a life where the income and the impact and the legacy, they go hand in hand, I need you to go over to realestate.beingachange.llc.com, and I'll drop it in the links here for you as well, because this is the way, the ultimate AI cash story offer. This is going to help you grow and build and be the best and be the champion in your eyes. Nobody has to have ownership on this real estate in your mind, because again, I specialize with real estate professionals, but it's not just your physical real estate. This mindset is the billionaire mindset that you actually have to start with. The great thing though, when you're the captain of your own story because you want to own it and be able to tell people how you got from point A to point B, the way that you do that is takes you wanting to be a champion. You gotta want to be a champion in your own eyes in regards to having a no-fail attitude and building that billionaire brand. So welcome to Live Conversations with Adriane Mays. I am your captain of the AI Cash Story. And I have a champion here today that's going to amaze us today. Like, in regards to knowing and growing and building, in regards to knowing what, I had to do this.
The champ is here.
I had to do it.
The champ is
I had to do it. I had to do it because the champ is here. I'm telling you, and I'm not just speaking for myself, okay? I'm just letting you know what I see. This is what's going down today on regards to our live virtual conversation. We have a champion in the house. Like, I couldn't even go through all the accolades and understand the conversation because this champion I have right here now that I'm going to introduce, running Place 6, which is growing your brand and being able to show up in the community. Willis Blackshear Jr., we call him WJ. He grew up next door to my Aunt Gloria in Dayton, Ohio. This brother is beyond measure and unreal in 2025. Like, we're not going to talk politics, but we might talk about it a little bit because he is the Ohio State Senator. But the champ is here. Like, the champion in regards to looking at what to do and showing up in the community. This Ohio State University master's graduate, just looking out and speaking in the Capitol and making sure that issues are being addressed. Being able to, like I told him before I even started today, like I was like, I couldn't even go through all the different things and everything in regards to he's actually done in the community because he calls himself the people's champ. Now, when you think about a champion, you want to aim to be the best version of yourself. But I am the president of my own foundation for the last 15 years, and I am an honor of saying that with CCC Because We Care Foundation, but WJ, hands down, has literally met my match. Like, he has been in schools, he has been in churches, he's been on the Senate floor and just talking and impacting people and all around the world, not just in Dayton, Ohio, all around the world. So I am honored, this alpha, I'm a Delta Sigma Theta, and I can just literally not even bring him on and just continuously going through his Facebook feed because it shows you what legacy looks like. This shows you what hard work looks like. I mean, my cousin Eugene Wadley, he always hangs out with great people, and this being his best friend next to Gloria's house. I mean, to be next door to a man that's amazing like this, I hope that I'm even giving half of the introduction that he actually deserves because I am truly thankful. And I was telling him before I got on, it's like I'm talking to the president. Like, this is someone that leadership looks like in regards to legacy and showcasing. And he was telling me about literally maintaining and prioritizing his time. He is someone that we would actually want to make sure that we just congratulate for getting this far. So I could keep going through his Facebook feed because like I said, do you see what I mean? I can't even say in words how thankful I am for someone that shows up not only for his family, his friends. He shows up for Adriane Mays, live virtual conversation. So long and overdue. I know I just had to showcase people when the research that I did last night in regards to who do we have here today. We have an amazing Willis WJ, I call him WJ, so the formalities of what we're going to talk about here today is the virtual conversation with his brother here. Come on, I believe that I've given the people a preview of what this means to me is beyond measure. But WJ, I appreciate you showing up in the community, showing up for me today, and just getting started. So it's going to be simple and easy. I'm not going to hit you too hard in regards to our conversation, but I am going to ask you some questions because, again, you have done so many great things, and the champ, you're here, and I'm honored to be a part of the live virtual conversation. So I want to start with say welcome. What up, though? Yeah. Detroit, Michigan, to Dayton, Ohio. Let's go.
Yeah, I appreciate that introduction.
Bro.
I've never seen my social media like that. When you were scrolling through it, I was like, wow, I've done a lot.
Do you understand what I'm saying now when I was telling you
I've never seen it like that. That was great.
Brother,
very inspired.
You should be. I am honestly thankful that you're doing the things that you're supposed to do and you signed up for in regards to being a senator, being yourself. But I honestly want to start just asking you a question. Growing up in Dayton, Ohio, right? Did you ever imagine yourself standing on the Senate floor speaking your truth like you're doing?
No, that's something that people ask me all the time. Was this something that I always envisioned myself to do? And I always tell them no. I always want to make a difference. I always want to make a difference. But to see myself where I'm at right now, I didn't see it. Honestly, at times I didn't even believe it. But thanks be to God, he saw fit for me to be in this space in this season. So I'm forever grateful. So my first dream was to actually be in Hollywood. I wanted to be an actor. I always wanted to be on TV, so I guess I'm doing part of that now. I guess, huh?
You getting that done? Yes.
So I wanted to be an actor, but then I decided that, hey, I wanted to go to law school to be an attorney. Wanted to fight in the courtroom, and that actually was the path that I was on. But then I decided to run for office.
Okay.
So besides me being a lawyer, I'm actually a lawmaker. So that's just funny how life is. But I was just always prepared and ready throughout my life, throughout my journey. I just stayed ready, and these opportunities started to present themselves. And what I seen myself being, God seen something totally different, something even better, honestly.
Okay, and I love it. So you said you wanted to be an actor. Did you have a role model or someone that you looked up to when you were aspiring to be an actor?
So Chris Tucker actually was one of them.
Okay, we can go with Chris. Okay.
So funny thing, I actually was hanging out with Dave Chappelle, and he had I call it like the Wall of Fame. He has pictures with all different celebrities. And Chris Tucker actually was one of those celebrities on his wall. And I told him, I was leaving out, I said, hey, next time you talk to Chris Tucker, just let him know I said hi.
Right.
He said, I'm going to do you even better. He ended up calling Chris Tucker. So I got to be on FaceTime with Chris Tucker, which was just so crazy. But I love Denzel. Denzel actually is one of my favorite actors. Love Kevin Hart. His work ethic is, wow. Nobody's working as hard as Kevin Hart. So those are just a few.
But Dave Chappelle, isn't he from Dayton? He's from Ohio? Is he from Dayton area? That's one of the people I look up to.
Yellow Springs. Yeah, Yellow Springs.
Come on, so put that connection together. That's my guy. So, but thinking just about seriously your upbringing, and planting those seeds in the community. Like, what actually inspired you to just be the people's champ? Like, where'd you get the nickname? Let's start with that too.
So I actually got that nickname at an MLK March.
Okay.
MLK March. It was cold outside.
Okay,
and this guy, he came up to me, and he literally, I kid you not, ripped my head, put his head on my head, and he said, keep doing what you're doing. You're the people's champ. I was like, people's champ? I was like, wow. So I just ran with it.
Right.
But I was just blessed growing up with some phenomenal people who always gave back. And they always, taught me the importance of service. That's always been something that's been instilled in me, is service to others. And that's honestly what your legacy is. Your legacy isn't about what you do for self.
Right.
It's about what you do for others. Because they're the ones that's going to keep your name alive. And I've actually been a witness of that in my life.
So, and then please, everybody that did show up live or the replay, just drop in the comments anything, feedback that you're giving to this amazing, we've seen the people's champ. I'm going to go with that champ for the for the rest of the way. But just looking at your 15-year-old version of yourself, like when you're sitting at Son Gloria's house, right? What would you tell your 15-year-old self about just aspiring to be into politics or even going the route that you went into?
I would say continue to keep God first. You have to keep God first. Stay focused. That fun that you think you're missing out on is going to always be there.
Right.
The fun is going to always be there. But prioritize, your schooling, always learning. Try to learn something new every day. I think that'll be something I'll tell my 15-year-old self.
Okay.
Oh, and dare to be different. Dare to be different. I actually tell this when I go to schools now, you want to be a trendsetter. See, a trend starts by somebody who dared to be different,
right?
And they set the path. So now you see things that somebody may have laughed at that person, like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? But then there were others who were like, oh, I like this. I want to do it as well. They set the trend. So be a trendsetter.
And that's with being in digital space, trending, always can change, right? That's one of the things that can change a lot. But I mean, you said seriously, you brought up God a couple of times, and faith fuels everything for you. So when you take controversial stands, when you're voting no, like I noticed in one of your Facebooks or what have you, right? No on like the budget. And where does that courage come from for you to stand up for what's right and stand up for the people?
Well, I always say I was born for a time such as this. I was born for such a time as this, and I know every decision I make, I pray about it, and most importantly, I got to be able to sleep at night.
Right.
You see time and time again people who do things for power that may be a little unsettling for themselves, but you have to just stay true to who you are. Stay true to who you are, and you have to be able to look yourself in the mirror and know that you gave it your all, you did the right thing, and it pays off in the end. It pays off in the end.
So, I mean, being human, I know there's distractions that come, right? So what kind of keeps you, like you said, just kind of sacrifice and just keeps you on your mission and not kind of focusing on those distractions that come at you all different kinds of ways, online and offline, right?
I think I said it before, the fun is going to always be there. You have to really keep your head down and do the work. You have to do the work. I'm so grateful to be around a lot of ambitious people who are really trying to better themselves, who are really trying to take their lives to the next level. And, you have to put those distractions aside to take your life to the next level, because here's the thing. There's always somebody who's working harder than you. Always somebody who's working harder than you. So you have to make sure that, hey, if I'm scrolling for 2 hours, what could I have done with those 2 hours that could have helped me? If I'm out having fun with friends, and I definitely do encourage, you have to have those moments where you take care of self, but then you have to also realize when you see people who are passing you on this journey, don't be jealous of where they're at, because you don't know the sacrifices that they made to get to where they're at. A lot of late nights, early mornings. You don't know what they have to sacrifice. So you have to be at a place where, okay, what am I going to do? What am I going to, where am I going to put myself at to get to this next level? What am I going to sacrifice to get there? It's up to you to make that decision.
I love it. So, like, what advice do you have for leaders, like you said, in regards to decisions that's being made, in regards to being your true, authentic self? One of the reasons that, like I said, started this live virtual conversations, a lot of times with AI and all the things that can be fabricated, you don't have, seeing that real person. That's truly, I mean, your story sells itself. So what advice do you give to people that are distracted or afraid to stand in their authentic self, just being honest on even the small things? Because like you said, you don't know what a person does in order to get where they are, but those sleepless nights, those, the real character, and I say this a lot, of the real character of a person is what you're doing when no one's paying attention. So what advice do you have for someone to stand alone, that's standing by themselves, and, just to stand alone in whatever they feel like in their authentic self?
It's funny you asked that, because I actually just had a conversation with a college student who's doing an internship in Washington, D.C. And my advice is remember your why. You have to remember your why. And if you don't have a why, get a why. Because when things get tough, when things get hard, you're going to have to go back to that why. Why am I doing what I'm doing? Because there are going to be moments where you're going to want to give up.
Right.
There are going to be moments where you want to give up. And I always say, like, when you think about the 1%, folks who are on a whole nother level, a level that you may be aspiring to get to, they have a why.
Right.
Most of the time they have a why, and you have to have that why, and that's what's going to keep you going. And for me knowing my why and remembering my why, whenever there is like a tough decision or where there are moments where I feel like, should I keep going, I'll revert back to that why, and that's what the fuel.
I love it. Now, I can speak for myself and say that my why is my foundation, CCC Because We Care Foundation. That's what fuels me in regards to this billionaire journey that I'm on. What you say? What is your why that fuels you? Like, what is your why? fuels WJ every day to make him get up and do this crazy stuff that you're amazing. But at the same time, what is your why that keeps you motivated to just keep going within your journey?
I think for me, it's making a difference. Making a difference. And it's not just on the legislative side of things.
Right.
But, making a difference in terms of when people see me, I want them to see somebody who never gave up, who kept God first, and who has continued to run this race. It's a marathon. So whatever visions, whatever dreams you have, I want people to look towards me like, despite the obstacles, the loss, things that he overcame, look at where he's at now.
Right.
I remember when I was running for the state senate, and I put it all on the line. Some people said I was crazy. Like, I had to literally give up my seat. I was able to finish out my term, but I had to give up my seat to run for this. And folks were like, you're already in a comfortable seat. You should just stay where you're at. Why do you want to do this?
Right.
But I went back to my why. I wanted to make a difference in people's lives. And, I had to be real with myself. Like, is this something that you really want to do? Did you get in this to be comfortable, or did you get in this to make a difference? Did you get in this to essentially, get to a level to where you can have a bigger impact? And that was something that I had to pray about, something I talked about with family, friends, and stuff like that. And, I put it all on the line.
Okay.
Put it all on the line. And you have to always believe in yourself. I tell people all the time, you're the first person that's going to believe in yourself. Outside of the world, even your parents and stuff, like, you're going to be the first person that's going to believe in yourself. So I always tell people, you have to believe in yourself and believe in what you're doing. Believe in what you're doing, because it's going to make a world of difference.
And so, and thank you for that, seriously, because if you believe in having faith, there's really nothing that you can do. And I know I mentioned to you a little bit offline, but how important do you think that therapy is in regards to just the process of belief, of mindset, of being the best version of yourself? How does that play in your equation?
So I'm gonna use what just happened as an example. When you were going through my social media, I was able to see it from a different perspective. When I think about like therapy, you're able to see certain things from a different perspective. There may be things that we go through in our life. There may be things that we may feel like is normal.
Right.
But when you talk through it with somebody else, it's like, wow, okay, I gotta check myself, because I've been living this way when that hasn't always been the right way or the right mindset to have.
Right.
It's not the mindset to have. So I think the benefit of therapy is seeing it from somebody else's perspective. And even like outside of therapy, when people tell me like, hey, you should be mindful of this, or you should think about that, I didn't see it that way.
Right.
So I thank you for correcting me. And it's also being humble enough to say, I don't know it all. I don't have all the answers. And I understand that you see things totally different than how I see it. So taking that in and, utilizing I like to say constructive criticism.
Right. And it's so funny, my business partner, Unica Gaines, she's the one that led me to therapy a couple of years ago, and it was like an ultimatum type situation. Because like you said, with perspectives, she tells me all the time, I don't think like you. And I know that I don't think like anybody else, but honestly, that was one of the best things that has ever been done for me. Because again, now I can think on different levels, and so if I have a conversation, it gives me another just level of belief in myself, which you can actually help other people on the way to your why, which links me to the next question. Like, a lot of people make it, right, and then they disconnect from their roots. And in seeing like yourself, you're still in the trenches, you're still showing love to Dayton, Ohio, you're still just doing you, right, in regards to just not just doing things in DC, you're doing, like you said, everyday lifestyle. So what keeps you rooted in the very streets that you actually were raised in?
I think for me, by me keeping God first, that's what keeps me humble. I've seen it happen over and over again where people reach a certain level and then there's like this disconnect.
Right.
And I think they forget the type of person that they were before all of the success, all of the accolades. And that's where the problem lays within, because a lot of times people forget those moments where they were hoping for that big break, where they were hoping for something to take off.
Mm-hmm.
And then once they get it, they're around people who, of course, are like very successful. But then also, too, they have folks who are trying to get connected with them to figure out, what do I have to do to be just like you?
Mm.
So for me, one of the reasons why whenever I have people in general, not just young people, people in general who
Mm-hmm.
ask me for advice. I mean, I need advice on how to run for office or this and that. I'm always willing to give it, because I remember that time in place when I was leaning on others
Right.
to help me get to where I'm at. But then also, too, I say it all the time, I actually was a commencement speaker at a graduation, and I was talking to actually one of the graduates, and the kid was very receptive of what I was saying. And the dad was like, I tell him this all the time. So I can tell the kid, like, listen, you gotta listen to your father, because
Right.
he knows what he's talking about. Me and him are saying the exact same things. Now, I get it. You're hearing it from me, so you may look at it just a little bit different.
Right.
But we're saying the same things. So for me, what keeps me humble and rooted is like, I don't know it all.
Mm.
And then I can have all of this today, but then it could be gone tomorrow.
Right.
So I stay true to who I am, because regardless of all the success, regardless of, the levels that I've reached or the levels that I may reach, I'm still Willis Blackshear Jr. I'm still WJ.
Right.
And I have to stay true to that person. I can't let success, I can't let what people say to me change who I am, because people's opinions come and go.
That's right.
So one minute they love me, the next minute they hate me.
Right.
So it's like I can't feed into what people are saying too much, because people change like the weather.
Yeah.
So I can sit here and say, oh, people loving me, people saying this and saying that about me, but then the moment it flips,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, oh man, am I who they say I am, or am I who I feel like I am?
Right.
I have to stay true to who I am and stay rooted and grounded in who I am.
I love it. I love it. And so even what you were saying, I say a lot you versus you, because you can't compare yourself to anyone else, because you have to be your own cheerleader, your own coach. But in speaking of mentorship and coaching, how important is it to actually invest in your mentor? Now, if it's not money, if it's time or what have you, to have a mentor and have a coach to help you get to the next level of what you're trying to accomplish, even as the level that you had now. I know you mentioned a couple of people that has helped you along the way. How important is coaching and mentorship to help level your game up?
Very important, because everybody has different life experiences.
Right.
And, some of my best mentors, some of them never held elected office. So I look at people from all walks of life who have different life experiences, who can help me along the way. Who can tell me like, hey, you may come into this situation. Mm-hmm. Be mindful of this. Now, granted, what I went through may be different than what you go through.
Right.
Times are different, situations are different. But just keep this in your back pocket, because it may not happen the same way, but it may be similar. Mm. And here's what you can consider when you're faced with what you may be faced with. So I feel like it's very important to have people in your life, folks who are doing some of the things that you're doing, but then also, too, people who may be in totally different career fields, but who are excelling as well. And it doesn't have to be a big high position.
Right.
It could be, somebody who is doing well in their lives. This is something they strive to do. Everybody doesn't want to be at the top.
Right.
Some people just want to be comfortable in what they do. So I think just seeking out people from all walks of life who bring value, bring a different set of value to what you may be trying to do.
So I thank you for bringing that up too, though. If you think about goals, like even aspiring goals, how important is it for you to write your goals down? Like, even if you hit them or don't hit them, like in the space, Grant Cardone, he sometimes says 10 times your goal. So how important is it for you not only just to say it, like, I want to do X, how important is it to write that goal down and actually have an action plan to get to that goal? How important is that in your actual journey?
So I like writing my goals down, because once I accomplish them, I'm like, wow, look at how far I came.
Right.
I've written some ambitious goals down, and I've accomplished a lot of those goals, and there are still things that I'm striving to accomplish. I think it's very important. One is a reminder of where you're going. It's a reminder, but also two, make it plain. You know, don't be shy about what your goals are and what your dreams are. So, you know, if somebody says, "Hey, you know, I want to get, you know, 10,000 followers on social media," be ambitious with that. Work at it. If somebody says, "I want my bank account to look like this," if somebody says, "Hey, I want to be able to speak at this conference. I want to be able to do this, do that," be ambitious with it. But then also, two, you have the big goals, but then also, two, you have those small goals that lead to the big goal as well. So for me, I take things in stride. Take things in stride. Like I see the top of the staircase, but I keep my head down and I focus on each step to get to the top. Because what happens is that sometimes we're so focused at the top of the staircase, we lose sight of those steps that it takes to actually get to the top. So what I do is I have like mini goals. I take things a day at a time anyway. But I have like mini goals that I wanna accomplish, and you know, I accomplish those mini goals, and then once I look up, like, wow, I'm at the top. Now I gotta make some new goals. I gotta make some new goals to strive for. I'm like, wow, I'm finally here.
You went to Juju's hot dog stand. I saw it. And so this young entrepreneur, did you get a hot dog first off? Did you get? Okay. So
I got the last one.
That's amazing. So when you're talking to entrepreneurs, I say a lot that entrepreneurship is one of the loneliest sports in the world. How important is it to have, and I think I even put on that post, you know, Billie Jean is one of the mentors that I have in a business plan in this AI world. How important is it for you to have like a plan to get to your goals? Like it's cool to see Juju in this hot dog stand. I think Jamar Chase, you was at this football camp. You spoke to some football people as well in regards to, I know you spoke to the churches as well, but how important is it to have a plan of action in order to accomplish your next why or your next steps?
Well, I think it keeps you organized.
Okay.
It keeps you organized because I run into situations where people are all over the place. They're all over the place, and
yeah,
sometimes that
was me sometimes, right?
I mean, at least
right.
But then other times you're just all over the place, and it's like, once you not having that structure,
right?
You know, it doesn't. It may take longer for you to become that success.
Yes.
You know, to reach that goal, because you're all over the place, and you know, one minute you may wake up and say, "Hey, I want to do this." Then the next minute you say, you know, I don't want to do that anymore. I want to do this. And that's, you know, that's okay. But I feel like by you know, writing it down, you have more structure. You have that structure, but then also too, you have something to look forward to. So, funny story about me being at Juju's hot dog stand. So I honestly did literally get the last hot dog. So it was a guy in line, and he wanted to get 7 hot dogs. 7 hot dogs. He said he was real hungry. He wanted to get 7 hot dogs. She's like, well, if you get out these 7 hot dogs, we're gonna sell out. And she's like, I mean, you can give him one of those hot dogs, and you know, we'll work it out that way. So me and him was talking. He was like, all right, I'll give him one of the hot dogs.
Right.
So I got him one of the hot dogs. So after he left, I was the last person there, and I was talking to Juju about, okay, what are your goals with this? What are you trying to accomplish? Are you trying to do this to have money to get clothes for school? You know, you want to have money to get video games or whatever it may be. So we were talking about that, me, him, and his mom. And I told him, the thing about being an entrepreneur, every day isn't going to be sunny.
Right.
So today you sold out. Tomorrow, you may only sell 10 hot dogs. That doesn't mean you have a bad business at all. It doesn't.
Right.
You're going to go through the ups and downs. And what I told him was that regardless of what today looks like or what tomorrow may look like, as long as you stay committed and stay true, you're going to be successful. You're going to be successful, because what I run into, especially talking with entrepreneurs,
right,
they have good days. Yes, those good days, being on the mountaintop, it feels great. 50 Cent even said the top feels so much better than the bottom. So much better.
Right.
It feels better, right? But who are you going to be when you're in the valley? who are you going to be?
Right.
I feel like regardless of if you're on a mountaintop or in a valley, you have to be the same person. You have to. As an elected official, I have to run campaigns.
Mm.
There are days where I do call time and I raise a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
There are days when I do call time and people are telling me no. And it is frustrating. I'm gonna be honest, I'm human. I have emotions.
Right.
It's frustrating. But the beauty of it is that I have tomorrow. I have tomorrow to try again. And there were days where I didn't make much of anything. But then I knew if God gave me breath to wake up the next day,
that's it.
I'm gonna go at it again. So I had days where I didn't make much of anything, but then that next day, wow, money is just pouring in.
Right.
Or people wasn't answering the phone and they called me back the next day. I was down and out. Ain't nobody answering my phone call. And people may not be supporting me, but then they may call me the next day. Oh, my apologies. So you always have to tomorrow. You always look forward to tomorrow.
So that I have a saying, actually Eric Thomas is one of the people too that make sure you download the playbook for a plan. I have the link below. But one of the people that I aspire to is Eric Thomas. Even today, I had to listen to my motivation, get my hype, get my champion game on, right? And I can, I will, I shall be victorious is like a mental thought process that keeps my energy high throughout the day, even in those moments that I'm not having a great day, those down moments, those disappointments, those days like you saying in regards to not accomplishing everything you want. So I say all that to say, do you have like a mantra or a saying that you say to yourself that kind of gets WJ up, like get you back in the game, to mentally, because, it happens like that sometimes. That's called life.
So I got one. Inspired by TA.
Okay.
We don't need it to be easy. We just need it to be possible.
Ooh.
When I tell you that is one of my favorite quotes right there, we don't need it to be easy. We just need it to be possible. That's inspired by TA.
When you say TA, who is TA?
Timothy Alexander.
Okay, you gotta give it to me all. You got.
He's actually a public speaker. He actually won an Emmy as well, I believe. He's actually a public speaker from Alabama. So his story is very inspiring. For those who are watching, I definitely encourage you to do some research on him. He was a star football player. Ended up being paralyzed. So now he's a motivational speaker. So that's his saying. I got to give credit to him on that one. That was actually a phenomenal saying.
You said so. We don't need to be possible, right? Is that right?
We don't need it to be easy. We just need it to be possible.
Okay, let me get it right. I don't want to. We don't need it to be easy. We need it to be possible.
We just need it to be possible. So in this thing called life, especially when you're striving to accomplish certain things, it's not going to be easy.
Right.
But it is possible. It is possible. So yeah.
I love it. I love it. I gotta give TA his props, and thank you for bringing that up too. And Mary actually has a great comment for you, and I definitely want to read this too for you. It says, I am so proud, and thank you for the support, Mary Grant. I appreciate you. She's a storybook teller here in Detroit, Michigan. Has written several books. And she says, I'm so proud of you being a strong voice during this political time. Keep making an impact in times like these. A suggestion for your next goal should be looking forward to traveling to West Africa, because it'll change your life. And we're going to ask about your travel aspirations as well. Have you been to Africa before?
No. So funny thing, it was actually a group that actually went a couple of weeks ago. When I got wind of it, it was too late. They already collected the money and stuff like that. So they were like, we're going to be going on a trip, if not next year, the year after next. So that definitely is one of the destinations that I would love to go to.
My business partner's going to Morocco next week with her friend, and I'm like, oh, right. So just going to the motherland in itself, it's just, this is an amazing season. And I'm looking up, and I want to be respectful of your time. So I definitely want to thank you for this. And so I want to loop it around third, coming to the top 5, and that's going to include one of those travel questions. But so in regards to the top 5, it's simple and easy. These are fun questions. So I just want to make sure that, if there's one food that WJ could eat all the time, what would that one food be?
See, now that's hard because just one.
Just
I
one.
I can go with burgers. I can go with tacos. I can go with cheesesteaks, French toast. Oh my goodness! If I had to choose one,
Just one.
I'd probably say a burger.
Ooh, what kind of burger though? What kind of burger? Because y'all used to have, y'all used to have Shields Burgers in Dayton, Ohio. My mother, Nancy and Daryl father just, on the end on Germantown, I can tell you where it is on Denison in Germantown. I don't know if it's still, I don't think it's there anymore. But we used to get the best burger at Shields. Is it still there?
The building is there, but they're no longer.
Oh, because I'm telling you, that was ooh. But do you have a favorite burger spot that you get your burgers from?
I would say it would either be Burger Master, here in Dayton, or can't go wrong with Five Guys.
Oh, you can't go wrong. See, Five Guys is here in Detroit too, so yes, Five Guys is that's a real burger. I'm with you on that. Mine is watermelon. I can do watermelon. Like I'm doing watermelon popsicles later. Like watermelon is my thing. That's the food I can eat all day, every day. So now, where originally are you from, and where do you call home now?
Dayton, Ohio, born and raised, never left. It seems like the moment I tried to leave, got pulled back in.
Right. Where were you trying to go? If you left Dayton, Ohio, where would you go?
So like I said earlier, one of my goals was to be an attorney. Mm-hmm. So I actually was trying to go to Virginia.
Ooh.
So they actually have a good law school, University of Virginia,
okay.
Law school, because I wanted to. So I had it all planned out. So I wanted to be a clerk for the Supreme Court, but they had a good pipeline to be a clerk for like federal courts, Court of Appeals.
Okay.
So my goal was to go to law school, be a clerk for like Court of Appeals, federal court, and then hopefully become a clerk for the Supreme Court. Then go into private practice. The list goes on and on. So yeah, my goal was to go to Virginia.
Oh, I have a sister in Virginia, or my business partner's sister, family in Virginia. So I love Virginia Beach. Oh, amazing. Yeah. So what's your favorite place you've ever traveled to, and why?
I would say Turks.
Ooh, you've been to Turks? I haven't been to Turks yet.
I think being in the water,
right?
Oh my goodness. And getting away from just, getting away from everything. I kid you not, my screen time was probably 15 to 20 minutes a day. I mean, we were just out and about.
Right.
So,
yeah. How long did you stay in Turks? Like, how long did you stay?
We was there, I think 3-4 days. Oh. It was quick, but it was much needed. So definitely want to go back.
I love it. My place is Toronto. I've been to 48 out of 50 states. I've been internationally. I've been to Spain. I've been to Japan. But Toronto, the T-Dot, when Chris was playing there, they showed you all kind of love, and there's so many different types of cultures. Right within Toronto, you can go to Spanish Town, you can go to Jamaican Town, you can get a real patty, you can go and get. I was experiencing so much love in Toronto. It's a place I've never been. Like, still hands down. Even though I didn't like the cold. Cold was not the deal.
Well, I actually went to Canada. I was actually part of this leadership program. We went to like 4 different cities in Canada, which was great. Mm-hmm. Canada, they got a lot of good things going for themselves.
Right, they do. Yeah. It's so clean up there, right? So, yeah. Number 4, what holiday or season do you look forward to the most every year? Or what's a good date, or that you look forward to every year?
My birthday, November 1st.
November 1st?
Yeah, I like the fall. The reason why I like the fall is because it's that time where it's not too hot, but it's not too cold. Like it's all perfect. So I love the fall. I love the summer, of course. Love the summer. Can't go wrong with summer.
Love it.
But I love the fall.
Well, I changed my date. My date used to be Thanksgiving, which is in November as well. But I changed it to my sobriety date, which is November 20th, 2023. And so, and it's also my cousin's birthday that passed away, Jabari Wesson. You may know Jab. So in regards to those dates, those are the dates that you can aspire to change, right? Because I'm literally 19 months sober, and my mindset has totally changed to something different. So it used to be my birthday. I used to take the whole month. But now this is something bigger than me in regards to just really realizing that loneliness of what alcohol provides, and being sober on the other side and helping people to see that. So I changed it to my sobriety date, November 20th. So, which now is number 5. Now, if you could recommend one book or recommend one like that changed or moved your mindset, or a movie, what would that book or that movie be?
So that book would be the Bible.
Okay.
I gotta say the Bible.
Right.
I feel like that'd be the book I recommend. Now the movie, I would say In Time. I encourage people to look at the movie In Time. So for those who haven't seen it, it's basically like a futuristic movie where they put computer chips in people, and basically your lifespan is how much time you have. So you have, and they broke it down in different sections. So like, you got the rich people, middle class, super rich, ultra rich. And one of the reasons why I like that movie is it goes back to what I say, prioritizing your time. So you have people who lived in the poor section of town who they literally lived off of a 24-hour, 48-hour clock. Okay. So they go to work, and so the time that you have in your chip, which was your body, that's you work a job, and you basically get that time. So like how we get paid, with dollars, they get paid with time. In that time, you get coffee, you get food, groceries, transportation. Very good movie. I encourage people to watch it, but I would recommend watching In Time. It just tells you about the life in general, but then also too, not End Times, End Time.
See how you can get that wrong? I'm with you. Okay, here we go.
There you go, right there.
Okay. Yep. Oh, see, I haven't seen this one. Okay.
Yeah, I encourage people to watch it.
Okay, awesome. I love it.
But then also, it can be, I don't want to say it's depressing, but, the have and have-nots. I say it all the time, it's expensive to be poor.
It is.
So you have people in society, because of the lack of funds, they may not go to the dentist, they may not go to the doctors. And, maybe they may not have very pressing problems right now, but then continue to ignore things, over time it becomes a big issue. So that lump you may have, or that toothache you may have, now you got to get tooth extracted, or that lump may be cancer when you could have prevented it, or got those checkups and stuff like that. So listen, I'm not gonna spoil it.
I'm gonna check it out. It's funny how Gloria must be here today, because I literally she gave me this Bible, and I've been reading the Bible every day, seriously, 30 days, because I literally I've never done this, read the whole Bible, like from front to back. Like, of course, we go to church and we have Bible scriptures, but I never read it front and back. And so she gave me this life application study Bible, and I've been reading it every day. And so you said Bible is your favorite book, and I'm like, okay, Aunt Gloria, I hear you. she over here like.
But I also encourage the Bible app. The Bible app, plenty of plans.
Right.
And I've done the Bible in a year, Bible in 60 days. So I encourage that app as well.
Yeah. But my book, honestly, is Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Like, this year has opened my mindset in regards to, like, just books in general. Because, again, it inspires. I'm from Detroit, Michigan, right? And financial education was not taught in the schools, like how money works. And so the Rich Dad, Poor Dad book is the actual book for, how to teach people how to work money. But honestly, one of my aspirations is to teach the Rich Dad, Poor Dad game. Like, I want to teach the game all over the world. That's literally it. So I wanted to respect your time 100%.
So I actually have a book. I wanted to. This is one of my favorite books.
Okay, let's see. So while he's getting the book, this is the game I want to teach to the world. Like,
5 a.m. Club.
Ooh, the 5 a.m. Club. Okay.
5 a.m. Club. Yep. Yeah, this is one of my favorite books.
So tell me what about that book that kind of makes it stand out for you, for your.
All right. So this is a person that rises early. Well, actually, let me backtrack. So the book started at like a theater. Okay. And it was two people, a man and a woman. It was this guy who appeared to be homeless. The whole time, this guy was a billionaire. So one of the lessons right there, it's not always about what you see. It's not always about what you see, because we'll look at certain people like, oh, this person may be doing this, may be doing that. Whole time, they could be doing it, but looks can be deceiving. Right. So he basically took him on a journey, an enlightenment journey. So basically, they'll get up early in the morning, knock things out, and he would just teach them lessons throughout the day. And like I said, I'm not trying to spoil the book, but
sounds like prioritizing
your time. Prioritizing your time. This is a great book. I recommend. I actually gave this book to entrepreneur. They said they loved it.
I love it. I love it. I'm doing the Rich Dad Poor Dad, but then also I'm doing tax-free wealth. You know, the tax laws are changing. That's we do taxes as well, right? But just understanding wealth in general, understanding how money works. But the 5 a.m. club, I'm gonna have to check that out. Okay. See, I like to expand my horizon. That's one of the reasons I asked this question.
Owning your day. Owning your day starts about how your morning routine is.
And that's what I talk about for the real estate, right? At first, I was kind of going back and forth because I used to work in real estate as a mortgage broker, but life happened. So now digital real estate is what I'm focusing in. But really, honestly, your mindset, that's literally the real estate in your mind is no one can take free space up in there. So you decide what you put into your mindset and taking things through. So one more question, then I'm going to let you do the last couple. If you could be any superhero, mine is Flash, because I'm a Delta, and that was my line name. I'm a Delta Sigma Theta. I know you're Alpha, Divine 9. But Flash is my superhero character. Who is your superhero character that you would actually...
It will be between Batman and Superman, honestly.
Ooh, Batman and Superman?
Yeah.
You gotta pick one, because they're totally different. Like, one has kryptonite, and Batman had Robin. Like, you got Lois Lane with Superman. You got, so we gotta go with one. Like, because I picked the Flash.
I would say probably Batman. No, I'll go with Superman. This is tough.
I feel like you want to change again. That's why I'm looking at you. Superman?
Yeah.
The people's champ would go with Superman. I'm with that. Okay, so I know you mentioned it earlier, and like the last question, if you had to tell yourself, not your 15-year-old self, just your younger self, before WJ accomplished all of the things and accolades, which again, I want to say thank you so much for your time and just getting here. But if you could leave the message to, just people that are listening, people that aspire to be in politics, people that you're changing what it looks like to be a politician, because seriously, WJ, like being in the community, showing up, speaking up for yourself, even coming live with my, little old Adriane from Detroit, Michigan, with that though. Those little small things seriously make the person you are. So if you could go back and tell yourself one piece of advice, like, make sure I do this to be successful to get to God's kingdom, what would that be?
It's a marathon, not a race. It's a marathon, not a race.
Might drop him. Oh, you gonna do him like that, people's champ? Come on, champ. We gonna hit him like that. Oh.
It's a marathon, not a race.
Okay, I like it. Yes, it is, because it truly is. Now, where can people find you? I mentioned and what are you working on now, if anything, anything you want to mention in regards to just kind of wrapping up here as well?
Yes, I'm working on some new legislation, cybersecurity.
Oh,
that is something that we actually had a hospital that hackers, got in and procedures were delayed. I mean, it was just bad. So I'm working on some cybersecurity legislation, life skills legislation. When we think about particularly high schoolers, a lot of them don't know how to write checks. A lot of them don't know about budgeting. Just little things like credit.
Yeah.
Things of that nature. So working on some legislation with that. Got a couple of exciting things happening in the near future. So we're working on some things. I can't speak on some of the things right now, but just know we got some good things coming up.
I love it. And one thing I do want to say thank you, and I created something called the One Live, one word legacy wall. So if you can actually describe yourself in one word, and I'm going to actually have you on the one word legacy wall, of course, with the other people that have said yes to the conversation, what would that one word be?
Persistent.
Persistent. Ooh, I gotta write that down. Persistent. Mine is resilient. Resilient. That is mine, in regards to just persistence. Okay, I love it.
I mean, I could say authentic. I could say caring. I could say all that.
Right.
I think persistent, because especially like in politics, everything doesn't always go the way that I would like.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to continue to stay persistent, which goes back to remembering my why. So.
Mm. WJ, honestly, and I, like I said, I texted Eugene Wadley earlier today because I thank both of you guys, and I thank you for what you're doing in the community, because you're showing what's possible. And sometimes we lose ourselves in just like the rat race, right? Just doing things, but when you decided to become and step up and be a part of legislation, and you decided to make change, you, my friend, are doing the work. And it's not easy, because, again, I asked you earlier, like, how is it possible that you're doing all the things that you're doing? You said your Apple Watch, which helps you with organizing and prioritization. But, and Mary mentioned, too, she said life is a marathon, not a race. Yes, finances for students. But wanted to just thank you seriously for showing up today for me, for this live virtual conversation. It means the world to me in regards to just in the way to get there. I can't, I'm not going to get emotional, but I want to, but because I truly appreciate the people that are saying yes along the way to the journey, because it's going to be simple and easy once I have, when I get to that billionaire status, to have people just raise their hand. But when you get started and you're doing something, you have an aspiration that God has put on you. Thank you. In regards to this, I wanted to say that first, but is there anything, my friend, before I leave, and I'm asking you to do a testimonial as well once you get done, but is there anything that you want to share with the people, that will look at not only, go to storytelling and hear the afterplay, but something you want to leave the people with in regards to just everything that you shared today?
I think, if I was to leave the people with something, just be kind to others.
Mm-hmm.
One, I think it's the right thing to do.
Right.
Right. You just never know who's going to be who. You just never know. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying do it just for that reason. Like I said, I think that's something that we all should be doing, is being kind to each other. But like you just said, like the billionaire status, when you reach a certain level, you're going to have a lot of yes men around and a lot of people who may defeat the ego.
Right.
But it's those moments where you're on the up and up, where you see people's true colors. So I always tell people just to be kind to everybody. One of the things I always make it a priority to do, especially when I go to the office, I always make sure I speak to the people who work in the cafeteria. I always make sure I speak to the people who are like the janitors, custodians, because I want them to make sure to know that regardless,
right,
you are somebody.
Right.
You are somebody. When I speak to young people, they ask me for advice, I want them to know you are somebody. So regardless of where you're at in your life, where you're at in your journey, you are somebody, and I always make it a priority to make sure people know that, because you got people who get to a certain level in life and they treat people horrible.
I know,
they
right?
treat people horrible, and that's not how, it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be that way.
I thank you. I mean, it's the truth, right? I mean, it doesn't matter what level you are. Everybody has a purpose, and everybody, like you said, has a why. And it might not be the billionaire journey. You might want to just actually, which is fine, which is great. Just do the best version of yourself, one moment and one day at a time. That's it. That's the secret. So my friend, thank you. Seriously, thank you for all that you do in the community, for showing up here today, for taking the time. I went over the time, so don't shoot me, because I try to keep it around 30, 45 minutes, but I appreciate it.
I do a lot of talking.
But no, I appreciate you, my friend. And like I said, definitely connect. We'll connect. I know you have some questions for me as well, and I'm going to go ahead and wrap up with the audience. So I thank you so much, and I'll sign off with you, okay? Virtual live conversations, WJ, was amazing. Oh my gosh, I truly, I was going to do a training today, but I truly went over the time, and I try to keep things situated in regards to just people's time, so today was a training in itself. We were with the people's champ. The people's champ in regard, and I'm gonna play it again that's gonna be my exit today, because again, what WJ didn't say in regards to who he is. Guys, I gotta get this back on the. I gotta get this back on my, hold on. I gotta give it to you. Because I hear it, but you can't hear it. Wait, listen, you gotta hear that again. You gotta just know. The champ was here. Do you hear what I'm saying? Like, do you understand? Come on. The amazing champ was here. Okay, Muhammad Ali, I love you, but WJ today, the people's champ, he showed up, he suited up, he ran the play of growing and being the person he is, and it's game time, my friends. I'm not going to keep you long today because I did go over an hour, and I appreciate everyone showing up, and please leave comments, because we're going to make sure that any questions that you may have in these virtual conversations, that you're able to kind of get those questions done. But today was an amazing day, and please don't hesitate to download the playbook here, the realestate.beingthechange.llc.com playbook. Take action. The AI cash story option it's not an option. Get started with your journey, because again, your captain here is here in the game, and I'm in the trenches with you. But the first step for you to actually get started is to get started. Like, you can't talk about it in regards to waking up with money and not having the plan. And I got the plan already out there for you. So all you have to do is take the action, put in the information in regards to getting the playbook emailed right directly to you. And then from there, once you get into the actual system, I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to make sure that you get everything that you need to run the play with your AI cash story. Thank you so much, everybody, for showing up here today. Please drop in the comments and let me know in regards to, thank you, Mary Grant, for showing up and giving me all the love and support on Mary. I truly appreciate you today in regards to comments and lots of life lessons, and you interacting with us here today as well. Please don't hesitate, like I said, to drop the actual link into the comments if you have more questions. But my friends, you know how we end them. Next week is going to be amazing as well. Just keep coming, showing up, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live virtual conversations with your girl, Adriane Mays. I can, I will, I shall be victorious. What up, though, Detroit? Thank you, God. Deuces. Amazing.
Yeah, that was great.
Oh, brother, that's what I live for. Like, this is my life. this
That's great.
This is my life. Like, helping people. Thank you.
That didn't even feel like an hour.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I could have kept going. I looked up like, oh, right. But I mean, this setup. This is literally what I'm going to do. This is my plan. Like, to do, like, bring people on in regards to just inspiring people, but I have a plan to get more views and all of that kind of stuff as well. So it's all structured strategically. It's the strategy behind it all. What questions did you have for me? That's why didn't even do a training. I was like, forget them. WJ got questions for me. What's up, bro? I got you.
so listen, by all means, if there's something like I ask, like, yeah, I want to talk about, that's fine. But
100% transparent.
Yeah, I'm, me and Dee, we go to church together. We talk, of course, me, Eugene, talk. I keep in contact with people here and there. I guess my question is, like, what happened with the family? Like, I remember,
right?
Like, everything was just so close, family reunions and stuff like that. And, I'm not going to ask it, because I'm not going to ask $1 million question, what happened with Chris and everybody, because, I mean.
It's not even $1 million question. This is an honest question, right? So, So honestly, what I can say, I think COVID happened. If I can be honest, COVID happened. But after I think 2021, Chris, that's when he got his Hall of Fame. He got married, and the wife that he has, him and Frida weren't seeing eye to eye. So you know how that goes. So
yeah.
So that's what ended up separation from him, and then he separated from Joe, and now he's just kind of separate. So. It is crazy. Just a couple of days ago, his best friend, because I'm on the sobriety journey, and that's the crazy thing is he reached out. I ain't talked to Gino in years, and that's real tough. 4 years, and he reached out to me a couple of days ago, and so I think he works with Chris. So guys, I think it's all God coming, bringing everything with how it's supposed to be. But after COVID, and then we didn't have that family reunion, and then people didn't have the money to have one, and then it was like, so that's one of the things that I'm working so hard to do is be able to have like just to have all the family come, all the kids come, and but it's literally just money and people. That's simple as it. Seriously, it's not like a big hoopla. But Chris and Frida, they separated. That's because of his wife, and so we haven't talked to him. Like he's on his own island. And but like I said, I know God is gonna bring it all because I don't care. I'm gonna talk to you if you call me, I'm gonna answer the phone type thing. So it's getting closer. It's just God's plan.
I just didn't understand it because I was in Atlanta a couple of weeks ago, of course, like with Joe, Eugene, and it's just like, of course, Jabari passed, and I mean I'm going back to even 2021 when Grandpa passed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I get it, people fall out and stuff like that, but then it's like certain things you like, wow, like you have to, do you check in on anybody? Do you like, what's your mindset? And has anybody even talked to you about what's been going on? So I don't know, that was really good.
And that's the thing, like I used to link, so Jab, so it's like the people I used to connect with is Joel, Jab, Eugene, and those are my three. Like, and then Rock will come in every now and then. BK is in Dallas. So with those, but I haven't been able to travel because of my DUI since 2023. So that's why I wasn't at the wedding. That's why I wasn't.
Can't hear you.
Oh dang, I took the mic off. Dang, wait, my bad. Okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay, so I got a DUI in 2023. And since then, I haven't been able to leave the state of Michigan. So that's why I haven't been. That's why I wasn't at the wedding. That's why I wasn't because I can't travel. I'm so hurt. So hopefully I get free from this in December of this year. But but I think it's honestly all God's plan for real. Like, that's why I couldn't come to the funeral. It's just one of those things. But those main people that would do that, like I was one of those main people that would get the family together, to be honest. Like after. So I'm going to do it. Like, I just got to get there. But God has me seeing how family is too, because we have to grow through these growing pains. And so I think it all come together in due time. I think it's just God just working on people. Like, just because I don't even have the same relationship with the family like I used to because of the situation I'm in. And I really got to see how people are. And so when you see how people treat you, you can't just be stupid. So you got to approach it from a different angle. So I think it's just growth. And it's just really growth and just learning, everybody growing up. But I know it's going to come back together because I see it.
And like I said, I mean, I keep in contact with people on Facebook, things of that nature, Uncle Steve, stuff like that. It's like, even though I know I'm not blood, but like growing up, being in that atmosphere around everybody.
Oh, you blood, bro.
Now it's just like, wow, like I miss those days, and hopefully, like, it can just get back to that. It may look a little different, of course, because everybody's older, of course, but
it's gonna look even better. I got a vision. It's gonna look even better because I mean, it's so many things. Like, for example, like BK's kid. Like, it's just I don't have any kids. I'm single with no kids, so I've been given the flexibility to be able to, once I get free, once I get out of this situation, I'll be able to do the things that I want to do. But in the midst of that, I think God has me doing this digital journey so I can show people what's possible. So that, working these 9 to 5s and all of that, like, I'd rather put all of my effort. And then I have millionaire coaches and things like that too. And so being able to be a part of a coaching community to be able to get people to their next step, but you got to put in the work. And that's what people won't do. even if people rather work for 8 hours a day for somebody else versus, and I had to go through these growing pains too to realize that people aren't like me. I'm just different. I thought everybody was just like, you know what I'm saying? Like happy, but that's not how life works. And so I think it's all just in due time, but it's definitely going to come back. And I think it's going to be even better because, with people being as strong as they are, because we're supposed to have a virtual, I'll make sure I tell you, we're supposed to have a virtual reunion up in August. Derek raised his hand and said he would do it. At first I was going to do it, but I was like, no, I don't have time for that right now. So I'll keep you posted. It's coming back.
Appreciate that.
No worries. No worries. So a testimonial, my friend. That's the only thing I ask for you to do. If you could, I'll text you my number. If you don't mind, send me like what your experience was like doing this live. And it, being authentic and being real and kind of with your girl Adriane stuff. You know what I'm saying?
So really like record a video.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll do that. All right, yeah, just send me a message. I'll get it together for you.
Do you have a social media team, or are you doing all this stuff yourself?
I do it myself.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I do it myself.
That's crazy. That's amazing. You're doing a great job. So
now I'll have people from time to time recommend like, hey, you should probably post this or that. Okay, I'll take that in consideration. So yeah, but I do it all myself.
Oh my gosh. So you only have a Facebook. I saw your Instagram. You don't have a YouTube yet.
Don't have a YouTube. I do have a TikTok. I do have a Twitter. I do have a LinkedIn.
Yeah. You gotta get YouTube. You gotta get YouTube, bro.
Yeah, I gotta get a YouTube. Yeah,
because like all your content and stuff, like YouTube is the one you gotta keep these like YouTube is your memory base. Like that's like 15 years later when you do have kids or whatever you decide to do, you can go back and look at YouTube all these times. So I'm definitely gonna encourage you to do that YouTube seriously, but this is just the beginning.
Yeah.
So thank you, brother. Thank you so much. And if you have anything I can do to help, like if you're doing all this stuff yourself, I'll help you out. Trust me. I'm because you'll see I'm about to do some different things, and that's my plan. So I got you.
I appreciate you.
All right, cuz I'll talk to you soon. Love you. If you need anything, hit me.
All right, we'll do it.
Okay.